Here's the truth about dating in 2023. Most people are looking for emotional availability. They're tired of casual conversations and they want someone with depth who they can connect to emotionally. There's a big difference between gradually opening up and pouring your heart out to someone who you just met on a dating app. Today, I'm going to be talking about oversharing, how oversharing can actually make you vulnerable to toxic relationships. And I'm going to be talking about how to stop. Just want to introduce myself in case you are new here. My name is Lindsay and I am the Real Love Alchemist, and I help you go from bad relationships to real love with the magic of subconscious work. If you're interested in getting some one-on-one support to help you break the bad relationship cycle, check out the link in the description. All right, let's talk about oversharing. Oversharing, or sharing too much too quickly, can actually make you vulnerable to toxic relationships and predatory behavior like what you see from narcissists. It leaves you vulnerable to people who might want to take advantage of you. When I first realized that this was something that I was doing, I was actually shocked. I was like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be emotionally available. I'm supposed to be open. I'm supposed to be sharing. Isn't that a good thing? But what I realized is I was swinging. So I used to be more unavailable and I really wouldn't share anything. And so I swung straight to the other extreme and I was sharing everything right away. And that wasn't good either because that got me into some really bad relationship situations. So where I needed to come was to a balance, to not sharing my whole life story immediately after meeting someone. That made me, again, vulnerable to people like narcissists who were ready to take advantage of my vulnerability and my weaknesses. If you identify as someone with an anxious attachment style, you can be really prone to this. We're very, and this was me in the past, we're very open and we like to attach quickly, and we do that through sharing, through connecting emotionally. Again, the predatory daters, like the narcissists, they actually look for people like that. Those bleeding hearts, we could say. People who share all the pain that they've ever been through right away, right after meeting somebody. Because when those narcissists or people like that, when they see that, they know, ooh, this is someone who's been through some trauma. This is someone who I can hook onto emotionally and manipulate. They hook you through what appears to be an emotional connection. Not actually an emotional connection if you're dating someone who's a narcissist, but it can very much appear to be that. It can feel so real and it can pull you right in. All this person needs to do, if you're sharing very openly, very freely, is validate your emotional pain. You can say things like, oh, I completely understand. That sounds awful. I know what you've been through. And they can share a little bit of their own, which may or may not be real, and it can feel like you have this amazing emotional connection. It can really hook you in. This is one of those things that makes you feel like you've met a soulmate. Like this is the most amazing connection that you've ever had. So while it's good to be emotionally available and open while you're dating, you do want to reel that in the very beginning and share gradually as you get to know someone so you can avoid getting taken advantage of by these people who are more predatory and who are, again, looking for that type of behavior so they can manipulate you. So let's talk about how to go from sharing all your trauma history before the first date to gradually sharing little by little. You want to avoid doing something called trauma dumping. If you haven't heard this term before, it's basically what I just said, where you share everything that you've ever been through all at once, like in the very beginning of messaging or talking, before you've even maybe met this person in real life. It's just like, wow, you're just getting it out there. Here's an example of trauma dumping. I actually wrote it down. My ex was a narcissistic asshole who cheated on me with 2 different women. I got into that relationship because my mom was a narcissist and abused me emotionally my whole life. That's a lot, right? That's a whole mouthful. Too much before you've even met this person. Too much on a first date. Not that there's something wrong with anything that you've been through, or not that there's anything wrong with you sharing that. What I'm saying here is just to protect you from, again, people who are looking to take advantage of you because of your vulnerabilities. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to just dump it on somebody all at once. What you do want to do, share just a little bit. So here's the alternative example. Here's what you want to do. You want to share the challenges you've been through based on the level of trust that this person has earned. Here's what this would look like on a first date. Yeah, I was in a bad relationship last year that was really painful. I've been working hard to heal from that, and I'm in a much better place now. You've shared a little bit. You've shared that, yeah, I've been through a really tough relationship. I'm doing better now. I've been working hard to heal from that. So you're showing that you do have the ability to go deeper, but you're not letting it all out at once. And what you can even say if you wanted to is, yeah, I'll tell you more about that as we get to know each other. Again, you're letting this person know, yeah, I'm willing to go there, but let's see where this goes first. Let's see if I can actually trust you here. So you share that little bit about yourself and you leave it. Now this person might ask, oh, what happened? What happened in that relationship? Then you could say something like, yeah, it was really bad. It was actually abusive, and I'll tell you more about that as we get to know each other. So again, you're sharing just a little bit. You're giving a hint of what you've gone through, and you're letting this person know, yes, I am going to be down to share that later as we get to know each other, as we gain each other's trust. This then actually gives the other person an incentive to keep showing up because it's intriguing. It's like, I want to know what happened. What was that relationship like? If they want to go deeper with you, they will have to keep showing up. And that's how you can decide if this is a person who you can trust, if they do keep showing up, if they do what they say they're going to do, if you feel safe with them, then little by little, you start to share more. And you keep your eyes open. Are they treating me well? When I share about my past, do they have compassion? Do they have empathy? Or do they make you feel bad about it? Do they make fun of you? Do they just dismiss it? Oh, that's not a big deal. Pay attention to that. If that's happening, that's not something that's wrong with you. That's a sign this is not a safe person to open up to. If they do prove to be trustworthy, if they do continue to show up and do what they say they're going to do and have empathy and compassion, then you can gradually share more and more and be more and more vulnerable. And hopefully, at the same time, they're doing that as well. Because what you also want to look out for is someone who allows you, basically pulls that vulnerability out of you, but doesn't share much about themselves. That would be an imbalanced relationship. You want the other person to also be sharing about their own challenges. So maybe they haven't gone through the exact same thing that you have, but they can also share something hard that they went through. That's what you want to look for. If you're in a relationship where you're the only one who's sharing and sharing and sharing, that might be a relationship that you want to avoid. The ideal here is a balanced relationship where both people can be vulnerable and both of you can share your thoughts and feelings and get empathy and compassion from the other person. Now, if it feels for you like the emotions around whatever it is you're going through are just right below the surface and you almost can't help but overshare, this is where I can help. My client Amanda went from constantly oversharing and getting into narcissistic relationships, and now she doesn't do that anymore. She's now in a healthy, loving relationship. How'd she do that? She joined my Living Free Finding Love program, and we went in there and we released all of those emotional energies that were simmering right there below the surface so that when she went on dates, she didn't feel like she had to just get it all out and dump it all out. She was cool, calm, collected, and she shared gradually, and that led to healthy love. So if you're interested in doing that deep subconscious work, that is actually a shortcut to real healthy love. Click on the link below. I'd be happy to work with you. Now, another one of the most common type of relationship dynamics is the addictive relationship. So check out this video here to learn more about how to avoid an addictive relationship.